Hello and thank you for watching. I'm Jennifer with Olympia Piano, and this is the final video in the small series on Chopin's Nocturne in E minor. This video will cover measures 36 and 37, and we're going to cover several elements. So please use the timestamps to find the section that you would like to work on. We're going to start with just quickly going through the fingering for the left hand. You'll see I've noted the fingering in red. All of the editions basically agreed on this fingering with one optional fingering here in measure 37. So let's go ahead and go through this. And the goal is to play as smoothly as possible. You want to pay attention to the expansion and contraction of the hand here to play it the most legato. So we're going to start with 5, expand the hand, then contract to play this legato. 5, 2, 3, thumb comes under, 1, 2, 3, thumb under again, 1, 2, 5. Then you'll just scoot up a half step, 5, 1, 3, 2, 1, 2, thumb under, 1, 2, 3. And here's where you can either have 5 or 4, 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 5. Now I'll do that without stopping. All right, so now let's just go through the right hand. We're ending on 5 from the previous chromatic figure, so that's going to be a 5. All of the sources I consulted agree that the fingering for this first trill is 1, 3. So the only discrepancy is whether we start on the C sharp note above. About half of the performances and half of the editions suggest starting on C sharp. So please consider that an artistic choice, which will go for all of them. So this one's going to be 1, 3. And by the way, let's make sure that you're doing the 8 VA. So it's not this B, but this one. So 1, 3 or 3, 1, 3. With regards to the next grace note figure here, the final note of it could also be finger 2, depending on how you play this trill, if you start on the note above or not. It's done both ways. It's about 50-50, both in the performances by famous pianists and in the editions, which we looked at. If you are going to start this one above on D, then I would say do 2, 1, 2, then you can start. If you're going to start on the C sharp, you could either still do 2, 1, 2 or 2, 1, 3, and then switch to 2. All right, so now we get to the difficult part, the trills. We're holding one note on the bottom, and I'm going to give you 3 different fingerings that I found from several different editions. I will be honest, I will show you all 3, but only one of those really works for my particular hand. So you want to find what works for you. Fingering 1, this is the one that works for my hand. I'm writing above here. It's going to start on the D at the beginning, but then I'm going to keep this trill continuous and just change the bottom note. I'm not going to make a big, huge lift when the harmony changes here. That would look like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Fingering 2 is the one that's pictured here. This one does not start on the note above. You see the 2, 1, 3, and then the trill starting with 3, 5. So that's 3, 5 with 1 underneath. And then when it switches on beat 3 here, it would go to 2, 3, or even 2, 4, or 5. You can try both of them. I'll just show you 2, 3, and you're still doing the 1 on the bottom. This one is going to be a little rough because this is very difficult for me. 2, 1, 3, 3, 5. 2, 4, 2, 3. 2, 3 is pretty good. Then the third one I can barely do, but it's listed in at least 2 places. So it works for many people. So 2, 1, 3. And this will start on above. We're going to start the thing with 4, 4, 3. And then this one's just going to stay on 4, 3 with the thumb switching right here. Okay. I'm going to demonstrate extremely slowly. 2, 1, 3, 4, 3. 4, 3. So go ahead and try all of those, see what works for you in terms of that fingering. Then finally, let's go to the last part, this chromatic here. This is the fingering that most of the editions agree on. So we're going to start 1, 2, 3, 4, grouped with those two notes, 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2, 3, 4. You're not seeing the last note, but it's a B. I'm going to share one other fingering with you. I've marked it in blue. This does not necessarily feel good to my hand, but I found it in at least 2 places. So it definitely works depending on your physiologies. 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 5. If you are doing this one, really pay attention to the height of your wrist and the angle of your hand so you can get that third finger over quickly on those black keys. Next thing I want to do is I just want to show you a side view technique for the trill. Then we'll go ahead and put the hands together. Here's what I'd recommend for the trill. When you're playing trills, especially when you're holding that bottom note, you're going to put the pedal on. That really helps with loosening the dampers and the release time. But the other thing I want you to really pay attention is to your wrist. So if I'm on that first trill, the B and C sharp, and my wrist is really low like this, I'm going to be working really, really hard with that third finger and the thumb. So what we want to do is lift the wrist up. So more of the trill is coming from the wrist rather than playing the fingers. The other thing is keep your fingers very, very close, almost on the keys, and you're jiggling kind of back and forth. You can see that in the bottom view there. You're finding what's the smallest amount you can press the key down and still have it sound. This will feel different on a grand piano versus a vertical piano versus a digital piano. Now we're going to go over the rhythm, and then we'll play it slowly and then at tempo. So for this particular part of the demonstration, I'm just going to use the fingering that feels confident in my hand. You work on whichever one feels confident to you. We'll go through beat by beat for this section of the tutorial. Okay, also one other thing I want to point out, this note is not A, but this is, so these are actually the same note. So we end here from our previous. So there's a couple of artistic choices here, starting on the B or starting on the C sharp. And then if you start on the C sharp, where do you play it? So we start on the B is just going to line up exactly right there. Okay, so that would sound like this. Okay, very, very straightforward. Now, we have 2 choices if we decide to start on the C sharp. We could start on the C sharp, just like we started with the B, so there's a little bit of tension right there. That would sound like this. Or we could place this so it comes a little bit before that beat, and that would sound like this. The next thing we'll look at will be the grace note here at the end of the measure. And generally, you will hear it 2 different ways, either starting on or slightly after. There will actually be at least 4 different artistic interpretations here because it will also depend on, are we starting on the C sharp or are we starting on the note above? So I'll show you all the different ways. First, we will do starting on the E sharp, the bottom. So I'm going to start on beat 3. Here's the note, starting on the note, the trill. Now I'll start on the note above. When you play this on the beat, it often will feel more like a triplet, but when you play it after, it will feel just a little bit faster. So this one will be starting on beat 3, playing the grace notes after, starting on C sharp. So this will be after. And then we'll do after, but starting on the D. So you have a lot to work with here artistically once you get this under your fingers. The only discrepancy in the next part is going to be whether or not you start on the D at the very beginning of the measure. But I want to just show you a tip for placing that lower voice on beat 3. So because we have the pedal down here, anytime during this second beat, go ahead and lift up your thumb here so you can place it down on beat 3. You're going to lift it, but just gently, and then watch the angle of your hand when you're playing the trill with it. Holding the B, when you lift, You're going to shift it over, really stand up so you can keep that trill going. The hardest part is just keeping that going while the bottom notes are changing. So what I would do first is actually just keep the trill going. And then add the bottom note. All right, so now we're going to deal with the beat 4 rhythm. Honestly, I'm showing you this little grid at the bottom to show you exactly how the notes fall with each other, but it goes by more quickly than the one in the previous video, the 10 versus 3. So I'm going to give you a couple tips on how to practice it, but just so you know. So we'll have together. So the F sharp right before that E, and then you're going to play E sharp, F sharp, G, comes right after the G, and then together on the B. In the last video, I went into detail about how to fit those exactly together. This one's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to have you practice groups of 4, 4, then 3. 4 with this note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1. You actually hear people play it like that, by the way. Way 2 would be to do 4, 3, 4. So that would sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then finally, let's put the 3 at the beginning. 4, 4. You're going to hear this all different sorts of ways. So strive to fit those notes in exactly where they go. Know that it might not always work out that way. So now I'm just going to go through. I'm going to play it 2 times through, 1 time slowly, and 1 time more at tempo, using the fingering that's the best for my hand, which is that 2, 3. Thank you very much for watching. One thought I want to leave you with is this piece was published 6 years after Chopin died. So that means there are several versions of this piece. Therefore, what I showed you today might be a little bit different than what you have at home, and that's very normal. There's lots of trusted sources for this piece. Please make sure to subscribe. I have several other Chopin tutorials and more to come. If you found this video really helped you, you may consider even donating any amount to the channel. You can do that either through YouTube Super Thanks or through PayPal. The instructions are in the description. And if you are new to my channel, I love to know where you are from. So please leave that for me in the comments. And as always, thank you for watching.